All right, today we're going to talk about a really big mindset shift. We're moving beyond just kind of tinkering with AI, and we're going to learn how to turn it from a simple tool into a real professional teammate. The goal here is to get you feeling way more confident and, honestly, way more effective when you collaborate with this tech.
So let's jump right in.
So this is the big question, isn't it? Is AI just another tool, or is it something more? For years, we've treated software like a hammer or a spreadsheet. You pick it up, you use it for a job, you put it down. But that whole metaphor, it's really starting to break down with AI. It's time for a totally new way of thinking. And this slide, it lays it out perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the old way of thinking. AI is just a task completer. You give it a one-off command, it spits out a pretty basic result. But look to the right, that is where we're headed. Seeing AI as a professional collaborator, that's about building a real strategic partnership to get complex stuff done. Okay, first things first, we've got to talk about that crucial mental shift. Because look, before you learn any new tricks or techniques, you have to fundamentally change how you see the technology itself. And listen, this isn't just some vague idea I'm throwing out there. A professional course from Google actually puts it perfectly. The goal is to adopt a new way of working. This single idea is the foundation for absolutely everything we're about to cover. So let's get practical. Let's talk about mastering the prompt. If AI is going to be your collaborator, then your prompts are how you communicate, how you direct the work. This is, without a doubt, the single most important skill for building that partnership. And the difference is it's night and day. Look at that before prompt. Write an email. It's so vague, you're basically guaranteed to get a generic, pretty useless response. But then look at the after. It's structured, it's specific, it gives the AI all the context it needs to act like a real teammate who actually gets what you're trying to do. So how do you get from before to after? Well, it's not magic, it's a framework. It's super simple. First, you give the AI a persona. Act as an expert marketer. Second, you provide the context, the background info, the goals. Third, you define the specific task. And finally, you tell it the format you want the output in. Persona, context, task, format. That's it. That's the secret sauce. Now, once you've got that prompting skill down, you're ready to level up. We're talking about delegating to AI agents. This is where AI really starts to feel less like a tool you're holding and more like an autonomous partner working alongside you. So what even is an AI agent? Well, think of it this way. A normal chatbot, it completes one prompt at a time. An agent, on the other hand, takes a goal from you and can then figure out and execute multiple steps. It can even use other software, like your email or your calendar, to get that goal done all on its own. And how do they actually work? Well, agents operate in this continuous loop. First, they analyze the goal to figure out the very next best step. Then, they act on it. After that, they observe the outcome of that action. And then, they repeat the cycle, learning and adapting with each loop until your entire goal is achieved. And listen, this isn't science fiction stuff for the future. It's happening right now. Imagine an agent that can sift through your entire inbox, identify brand new sales leads, and then automatically add them to your CRM for you. That's not just a small productivity tool, that's a genuine teammate handling the tedious work so you can focus on the big picture. Okay, but with all of this incredible power comes some serious responsibility. You're the one in charge, the director. And this section right here, this is your professional playbook, the ACT checklist. So when should you actually delegate to an agent? Well, it really just comes down to two key questions. First, what's the risk? Is the impact of a mistake low or is it high? And second, is it reversible? Can the action be easily undone? Drafting an internal email is pretty low risk and totally reversible. Posting directly to the company's social media, yeah, not so much. And to make this super easy to remember, we've got a checklist for you to use every single time you work with AI. Just remember the acronym ACT. Ask, check, and tell. Let's break each one down real quick. First up, A is for ask. And before you even think about pasting anything into that prompt, you have to ask yourself this critical question. Is this data actually safe to share with a public AI tool? And here's the rule of thumb. It is dead simple. If the data is private, we're talking customer info, internal company secrets, personal details, do not put it into a public AI tool. Full stop. Instead, use generic placeholders to describe what you need done. All right, next up, C is for check. The AI has given you an output, but guess what? your work is not done. In fact, you could say the most important part has just begun, because you are ultimately the one who's accountable for whatever you use. And that means you've got to independently verify every single fact, every name, every statistic it gives you. It means checking for bias. And it means you have to edit, refine, and add your own unique expertise. The AI gives you a first draft. You provide the final, human judgment. And finally, we have T for tell. And this one is all about professional integrity. Once you've checked the work and you're ready to actually use it, you've got to be transparent about where it came from. The bottom line is, you should clearly and appropriately disclose how AI helped create the content. Transparency is what builds trust. And, of course, always follow your specific organization's policies on using AI. Okay, so we've talked about the mindset, we've gone over the skills, and we've laid out the rules of the road. Now, it's your turn to lead. Because the future isn't about being replaced by AI, it's about partnership. You know, this quote just perfectly sums up everything we've talked about. Sure, AI agents are powerful partners, but your success hinges on your supervision, your clarity, your judgment, and your vision. That's what makes the whole collaboration work. You are the essential human in the loop. So there you have it. You've got the mindset, you've got the playbook. The only question left is for you. What's the first big, complex goal you're going to go out and tackle with your new AI teammate?